We are back on MorningLine. Happy Halloween. Thanks for joining us. Nick Barris here along with author Allen Sircy. His book, Southern Ghost Stories, Ghosts Among Other Places of Gallatin. And we'll take your phone call, 737-7587, if you have questions or comments about weird things you've seen around here. He says Gallatin, one of the most haunted cities in the state. And I thought I'd ask you just share a few of them that jump out at you that, you know, there's a bunch of them in the book. But
yeah, Northwater. That's where I've had the most experiences, and I've seen.
Now, where is that? Where is Northwater?
It's right off the square. It's when you go into town. It's off Main Street.
I know the square, but I'm not. Okay. Yeah, Northwater is what? It's the
west side of the square.
It's a building.
No, sorry, Northwater Avenue.
Okay, Northwater.
Sorry,
Avenue.
I should have been more clear.
Gotcha. Okay, and so what about that?
It was in 1869. It was pretty much burned to the ground.
Right.
They rebuilt it. 11 years later, it burned down again. Huh. So everything is haunted out there. I was in a boutique. Was it Monday or Tuesday? And I had this app on my phone. I didn't put a lot of stock into it, and they were kind of hokey, some of these apps. And like little words will pop up from time to time. Supposedly the spirits or they want to communicate with you. Mm-hmm. But as I'm walking up the stairs, well, let me give you the background on the building. Like places in Nashville, the first floor was a storefront, but upstairs was like the family, where the family lived, the dwelling up there. And you go up there, you can kind of see the partitions where there's a living room or a bedroom or whatever. But as I'm walking upstairs with the owner, this was at Timeless Treasures there on the square. As I'm walking up the stairs, this old lady was fidgeting with something. She dropped it. So I walked to the top of the stairs, and the word "dropped" picked up on my phone in that app. Now I don't put a lot of stock in that thing, but that was really strange.
That's weird. It just pops up.
Yeah.
See, it's interesting because you notice these things, and because you write these books, and you're always looking for more content, and you notice it. I wouldn't. I mean, who knows? Maybe those of us who don't think about these things could pay closer attention. I mean, I guess I would see that and think it's a little strange. Every once in a while, maybe you'll be in a car and your clock will flash at a certain time coinciding with some date, and you'll think, wow, what's going on with that? Or things like that. But,
Well, at a few doors down at a Daisy a Day, another boutique, I was there with a friend of mine, and she claims to be an empath. She can't see a ghost, but she can sense them and feel them.
Okay.
So when I was working on this book, she would tell me things that I had found researching that she had no business knowing. So she's pretty legitimate.
Yeah.
So one day she and I walked up to the second floor, and she just sticks her hand out and just takes off running. I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "There's a little girl here and she wants to show me something." So we run all the way to the end of the building where the records were, and she's just swinging her hand like this. I said, "What are you doing?" She just wants to hold my hand.
And I'm saying the little girl holds her hand.
I said, "Whatever." I said, "Have her hold mine," because I was pretty skeptical. So as I reached my hand out, all of a sudden I had this urge just to scratch the back of my hand. And she said, "Oh, Alan, she's touching you. She's holding your hand." And I was thinking, this is all in my head. It's all in my head. This is not happening. But, maybe that little girl was touching me. I don't know. But it was just really weird that I had to scratch my hand while she's telling me a little girl's touching me.
I love it. All right. Well, you can interpret that
I'm
in
a
any number of
skeptic,
ways. Okay, so you've seen it, but some stuff you just, in life, there's a lot of things we just can't explain.
I tried to debunk it. Yeah, I've been in rooms where
if you had somewhere you can say, okay, wait a second, I know exactly what's causing this, and it's not a ghost. Yeah, because you try to look at those. There's some probably you've come about where you're looking into it, and then you realize, no, this is not going to make the book because, what?
So it could be the wind. I was with the tour last week. And this lady's like, "Oh, I just saw something." And so I was sitting there, I was watching it, and you can see cars coming up the road and then turning, and the lights would go. So I said, "Look, that's a car, it's not a ghost."
Yeah, it's okay.
But I have been in that same building. It's called the Enloe Center in Gallatin. It's like a little hallway with a pet groomer and then a little furniture store. And there's some office space above, and I was upstairs, and I told my friend, I said, "Nothing's up here, let's go ahead and leave." And as soon as I said that, we heard the sound of like a rock being thrown against a wall.
Yeah.
But it's coming from the other side of the building, so we ran over there, and all of a sudden, it started again from the spot where we just were. So something was messing with us.
Yeah. What are some of? Okay, I'm just trying to think about the movies out there of what Hollywood. I mentioned the movie Poltergeist, which goes back a while.
Yeah.
That's been remade. Of course, there's Casper the Friendly Ghost, things like that. Are there? What do you think? What role does Hollywood play in this kind of stuff?
They play it up. The stuff I've encountered is mischievous. Nothing's going to hurt you. I mean, I've heard stories about crag fawns, some places in New Orleans where things can get violent, but from my experience, it's just mischievous and they're just playful.
Playful. Let's take a call from Bob. Bob, good morning. Hi, Bob.
Oh, how we doing?
Good.
I live I can't say the name of the apartment, but it's up here on 38th off Charlotte. That's where the Channel 4 tower fell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of haunted. And the other thing is, like Bill Meade, it goes back to Indian times, large bird populations, and they had some huge, what they call northern owls.
Northern owls?
Yeah, they're big and white.
Yeah, in the Bell Meade. Do you think that has something to do with ghosts?
Well, it goes back to legend and stuff like that. And of course, we got the parks out there. They hide in there and stuff like that.
I wonder, do you think animals sense any of this?
Well, it's funny you say that. I was in Gallatin researching this one place, and I'd heard it was haunted. And I asked the guy, there was a business downstairs, and he lived above it, in an apartment. And I said, I've heard things about this building. He said, well, I've never seen anything, but it's really weird. My dog will go downstairs to the middle of the store and start barking as loud as he can. And then at night, when we go upstairs, he goes to the same spot right above it and starts barking at something. So maybe there's something.
Yeah, you just wonder if animals maybe sense something, or if you hear it, they
it's
might.
Possible, yeah. And children are also very susceptible to that kind of stuff, I've heard.
Just because, okay. What about other stories in the book here?
Well, talking about kids.
Give me a few others, yeah.
Lady who works in the dog room and places a little boy. He was 3 at the time, and they came in the back door of the place at the Inlow Center I was talking about, where it was upstairs. And he walks in. He looks up, and says, "Mama, can I go play with the babies today?" And she looks up there and she said, "There's nothing up there."
What's he looking at, the ceiling?
Well, there's like a second level. And he looks up and he said he saw kids playing up there. And then a few days later, he was outside with his grandmother, and he came back in and said, "Hey, Mama, I saw the babies playing outside today." So on North Water with the fires, maybe there was some families or children, and when the house burned down, they couldn't get out. I don't know.
Why is it you think they sometimes are visible and other times aren't?
I don't know. From what I've been told, it takes a lot of energy to manifest or something, or to move something, and that's why you can't see them all the time.
Okay, and do you think that, like the one at the mansion where the woman who whispered on your audio tape there, is she there forever?
I guess so. I mean, there's been stories of her there for years. There's a guy who lived in the home back in the 70s and 80s, and he's talked about seeing the old lady there and hearing weird noises too.
And do you have any idea, and again, this goes into larger beyond the stories, why some people become ghosts and some don't?
I don't know. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she broke it down to me like this.
All right.
If you're raised in the church and you believe in the Lord, but when you pass away or when you're dying, you don't feel like you're worthy to go towards the light or go where you're going, maybe you just stay behind. I don't know. I don't know the answer. There's only one guy who does, and
yeah.
But that was just a good theory. It kind of made sense to me.
Again, it's all in good fun. All right, some other stories in there. Like, which ones? I mean, there's a bunch in your book. Give me some other ones for Gallatin.
I was over at the Lime Deli over on the public square on the east side of the square, and it's a restaurant, and there's a Hispanic gentleman who owns it. And I walked in, I was talking to him, and he doesn't speak very good English, and he's like, "I don't believe it's haunted. Not much goes on." So as I'm leaving, I thank him for his time, and then he said, "Hang on a second, I want to show you something." So he takes me downstairs in the basement. Well, in addition to all the ghosts and all the weird things that happen, there's tunnels all under Gallatin.
Okay.
And there's rumors they go up all the way to Mammoth Cave in Kentucky as part of that system.
Yeah.
And
you're just saying natural tunnels.
Yeah, natural tunnels and caves.
Because there's so many caves.
And there's, according to legend, Jesse James, he also buried some of his loot down there.
Yeah.
Which is not that far fetched, because he hung out. There's records of him being in Gallatin. He stayed in Bardstown, Kentucky when he was on the run. But he took me down there in this tunnel, or to the basement of the building. And when I walked down there, I saw this furnace that's like 150 years old. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And he goes, "No, it's not what I want to show you." And he points to the entrance to the cave, and it's sealed up. And so I'm trying to take a picture of it with my phone, and my phone just goes black. I did it again, it went black. The third time I took it, I got the picture. So I went home, I was showing my wife, and I pulled it up. And the first 2 pictures I took that came up black, I thought didn't take, it took. But there's a big shiny orb right in the middle of them. And they say the orbs could be spirits.
Yeah.
And it's really weird that I got that picture when I was trying to take a picture.
Of and what do you think it might have been?
They say orbs are possibly spirits.
Yeah.
It could be dust, who knows, but that's kind of like the leading theory, is that they're spirits.
Okay, and that's at the mouth of one of the caves, underneath it.
One of the entrances, yes.
Entrance.
The city doesn't want you to go down there.
Well, it's
hazardous. You fall and break your leg, or you get stuck and
something. Yeah, it's probably closed off. Now, what about, like, I see there's some, like, a time capsule. Is there a time capsule? Like, this one here was in 1905. It's in the book.
At the 100-year anniversary in 2005, a city official went down there and started drilling into the time capsule, or to the cornerstone, to find the time capsule, and they couldn't find it.
Huh.
So another historian went down there with him trying to find it, started digging around the basement. They still can't find it. But that building, supposedly there was a bank president who had cancer. He was in poor health. Well, he committed suicide in that building. And ever since then, people in that building have heard weird things and heard noises and seen things move around. It's
you think someone moved the time capsule?
Well, they don't know, but that's just part of the lore of that building.
Wow. All right, let's take Karen's on line 1. Karen, good morning. Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Hi, what's on your mind?
I'm not sure if this is really a ghost story or not, but a few years ago, my mother passed away of lung cancer. And before she passed, her voice was really raspy, as, you know, that could happen.
Sure.
And she passed away, and about 2 weeks later, I noticed a new message on my voicemail. And I checked it, and it was my mother. Her voice was no longer raspy. And she said, "Karen, I just want to let you know I'm finally home." Now, I'm not saying that was, you know, a ghost story.
Do you still have that message?
It made me feel good.
Did you save the message, or did you erase over it?
Well, when I lost my Comcast service, I lost my voicemail.
Oh, I'm sorry. And now you're sure then that it was your mother's voice as you remembered it before she had cancer, where it was clear? I mean, you're like, yeah, that's my mom, not someone that was maybe an imposter doing it to make you feel better.
No, it was my mom.
Wow, that's interesting.
When she was diagnosed with lung cancer, it was really quick. She went from, you know, sounding normal to all of a sudden having a rasp. And it was her voice before she had that rasp.
And she just
said, "Karen, I'm finally home."
Wow, and then and you haven't heard anything else since?
It did make me feel better.
Well, sure, that's a nice thing. Well,
I hang wind chimes in my room, and I sometimes go in there and I'll talk to my mom, and I don't have any fans or anything going, and sometimes the wind chimes will move on their own, and that comforts me.
Yeah, as if that she's still around watching over you or something along those lines. Thank you for your call. I mean, who knows?
Story.
I mean, and I believe what she's saying.
Well, I've heard stories of, like, if someone's grandfather dies and they see an apparition of grandfather, he appears younger and youthful.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the way they want to be presented, and maybe that was the voice she wanted her daughter to hear. I don't know.
What's nice about that is that in this case, whatever it was, and she believes it was her mom, I mean, it made her feel better.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of like.
That's a good story.
Again, I mean, it's just, thanks to Hollywood, if, you know, these types of things, you know, ghosts are made to scare, and it's just, come on, man. They can be comforting as well. I'm sorry, did you say Karen's on one? Another Karen? Karen, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, you're still there. Okay, yeah, we had just taken you. I was going to say, you made it clear, besides the wind chimes, you have not heard of any other thing from her since then? How long ago was this?
This was about 3 or 4 years ago.
3 or 4 years ago, okay.
And I haven't really heard anything since, just assuming that she's where she's supposed to be.
Yep, that's it. What do you think?
That's pretty neat. It's a great story.
Yeah,
I mean,
I wish she saved the thing. She
that'd
lost
be really
it.
cool.
Because you hear something like that, just record it right away. You know, it's interesting. One of the other callers just talking about, I think it was Ann at the beginning. At least this time, okay. For me, someone like me, a skeptic, who, you know, look, I believe whatever she experienced, she thinks she's experienced, good for her, and it may, whatever. I don't make judgments on it, but I'm kind of a skeptic myself. But in this day and age, if there are items to be captured, everyone's got cell phones. Used to be in the old days, oh, well, I saw something. Oh, really? You got any proof? I'd like to see it. You know, no one. But nowadays, if something's going on, I guess you can whip out your cell phone, as you have maybe, and get some. And for me, what does it take someone to believe? I can have fun reading these and get a kick out of them, but for me to really, you know, think, oh yeah, that's for real, I guess, I mean, you can have faith and you don't have to see something to believe in it, but for me on something like this, I'm going to need a little more proof.
And it's, you know, I was up there researching the book, and I probably took several hundred pictures. I had probably 100 recordings, and I got a snippet of one recording, and then like that weird instance where the orb was right there when my phone wasn't, when my camera wasn't working. So I had like 2 instances out of, you know, several hundred. So the percentage is very, very small.
Yeah,
it's hard to get proof of these things, and it's just kind of, until you don't believe in a ghost till it happens to you.
I suppose not. And it's interesting. It's like a lot of these phenomena. You believe in Bigfoot? Okay, you know what? My take is sooner or later, with society the way it is and the way we've invaded just about every corner of this planet, if there was a Bigfoot out there, we'd know about it. Do you believe? Another thing, okay, whether you believe in ghosts, do you believe in UFOs? Now, if you're asking me, and I've not had an experience with an unidentified flying object, actually I have, couldn't identify, but do you believe in alien beings visiting from another planet? If I had to choose myself between the possibility of ghosts existing or there being other life in the universe, I'm going to take other life in the universe. That's just my take. But, you know, none of them are clear-cut proof.
Yeah, you just
That's
don't
the
know.
thing. It's tricky. And if something really exists at some point in the game, you're going to get some hard proof, aren't you? I don't know, but some may be in this book. Listen, we'll take a break. Be back. Our final segment. More of your questions or comments about ghosts. And I'll have Allen share a few more stories out of his book right after this.